Broadcasting live from the basement of a Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Oh, motherfuck, bitch, cunt, sucker. Ugh. Hi.
What?
Hello, everybody. We're gonna try this shit again.
Sure, let's go with that.
Right? Take two. Fucking hell. I swear, it's like they saw that I was talking shit about Chelsea Clinton, and they were like, no, we gotta censor you. Ugh. See, I agree, Jeffrey, Michael, and Facebook Live. I do, like, everyone who compared Chelsea Clinton to Howdy Doody owes Howdy Doody an apology. Yeah. Like, could you imagine having, like, you're just, like, a little puppet from the 50s minding your own business. Next thing you know, they're comparing you to a fucking troll monster. Yes, I did, Casey. Yes, I did, in fact, say cunt sucker. I sure as shit did. Not gonna lie, I don't know what exactly came out of my mouth when we came back on air just now, but it was just a long slew of profanities, and I feel better now. So
that's good.
That's all I care about. So I feel better.
Well, that's really all that matters, right? As long as you feel better.
Yeah. That's exactly right. As long as I feel better. Oh, goodness.
Exactly, goodness.
Yeah. Motherfuck. I swear to... Like, this happened last week too, right? No. It was the week before that.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe a couple weeks back. It's been a hot minute.
I was with Pookie. I almost lost my shit then too, where I was like, you know what? Fuck this computer. Fuck all these computers. Fuck all this. And I almost like threw it out the window.
It might have helped. You never know.
I would have felt better.
Right.
Yes, Chris, I need snacks. Like I feel like Spanky right now in that I need a large assortment of snacks. Time now.
Well, there's a unicorn and a cat in there, so I don't know about all that. Or a mouse, whatever the hell that is.
It's a cat.
So.
What the fuck are you drinking, and why is it red?
This is the blood of my enemies, and it's delicious.
I was gonna say it looks like blood, but I don't know if it looks like the blood of my enemies.
It is the blood of my enemies.
Are you sure?
These are all the people that have wronged me in the last week. So,
dude, I feel like your fucking mug needs a tampon.
No, because it's not your mug. So.
Are you sure? Or a giant pad. Either way, it looks like a heavy flow day.
Wouldn't you know about that?
I would know about that. You are absolutely correct with that assessment, good sir.
But no, it's a very interesting flavor, the blood of my enemies. So yeah. So now that we're back on track and we've now we gotta roll through some awesome news.
Right? Ugh, you're lagging as always. Damn it.
Well, that happens.
I need an upgrade. Who wants to be my sugar daddy who doesn't want sugar and will buy me a new machine?
I'm pretty sure there's some takers out there.
No, they all want the sugar.
Well, you never know. A little sugar for a brand new machine.
I might whore myself out for that. We don't know.
Might be worth it, if you get a nice high-speed machine.
Oh my god. Okay, so I legit almost had like a panic attack at work today. My OCD went into overdrive during this one surgery I did because not me set everything up and not me set it up wrong. Everything was wrong in my setup, and I when I came back into my room and I saw it, I was like, but I couldn't do anything about it because the patient was in the room, and I'm like, I don't have time to tear all this shit down and start over. It was so bad. My doc had to take me out to the room, and he's like, I need you to breathe. And I was like, oh my God. True story.
So why did not you set it up?
Because I had to eat between cases. Dude, seriously, Ice, you don't even know. It's it's not even the instrumentation that was wrong. It was the fucking draping on like my tables, my fucking mayo stand cover. Oh my God. Okay, so we have this long cover where, if you extend it all the way, it covers a good portion of the what are you doing? Of the mayo stand, right? Like it goes almost all the way to the floor. However, not me, just never will extend it all the way. And so it like is all bunched up right after the tray part. And I'm like, if I have to lift this motherfucker up, you can't, like this whole thing is not sterile now. And like now everything's gonna get contaminated. And then, oh my God. So I made not me like fix that. I was like, hey, pull that shit down. But then the second back table, I normally like will double line it with another drape, right? Just to make sure that if anything were to happen, like if cause my instruments are fucking sharp. I do fucking big bone shit. Shit has to be sharp. Right? And so if it accidentally scratches and like breaks through one of the drapes, at least there's a second one there as like a barrier, right? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. It was off center.
Uh-huh.
It was off center and like all cattywampus and like cockeyed. And I was like, oh no. Like I was like, throw the whole table away. I want a new one. I am relaxed.
Sure.
Ugh. So aggravated. That was my day today, right? Before we got cut off earlier. Oh, our guest tonight. We have a guest.
We do have a guest.
We do. I wanted to talk about her really quickly. So Joanna Mendoza is our guest tonight. She's an author. She's also a veteran of the U.S. Navy and U.S. Marine Corps. She's also a former drill instructor for the Marine Corps. So she's going to be on to talk about her new book, Esprit de Corps. And yeah, so that's coming up here in about 30 minutes. No,
I'm really looking forward to that interview. It's going to be, I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah. There's so much I wanted to talk about, though, before we got to it. But then the shit went to shit.
Well, we just I just fire and move on.
Right? I know, as I try not to, I look like I just escaped from Azkaban right now.
You can't use that again because you used it last week.
I can use it any goddamn time I want. I have
no.
not straight hair. And it does whatever it wants.
Ugh.
Anywho.
So,
like I was saying, motherfucking Chelsea Clinton is pissed about being compared to Howdy Doody. And I don't understand why she's mad. Howdy Doody needs to be mad. Like, if anyone is, like, justified in being mad about this situation, it's gonna be Howdy Doody. So she's firing back at all the people who say she looks like the Howdy Doody puppet. The former first daughter on Tuesday singled out a Twitter user named Richard, who on Tuesday shared a graphic with his 20 Twitter followers that showed Howdy Doody photoshopped over Chelsea Clinton's face. It does look a lot like her, and I really do feel bad for Howdy Doody, like, for this fucking puppet. I feel terrible for it. Ugh.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It was ridiculous. Oh, okay. So, I know I said Justified earlier, but you know the horse that just won Triple Crown, Justify?
Yes.
An Irish company just bought the breeding rights to Justify for $75 million.
Yeah.
They're expected to breed him about 250 times the first year. And, you know, obviously it's just going to continue because that horse is never racing again. He is going to be a stud, and that's it. But each foal is expected to be sold for upwards around $150,000 each.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking ridiculous. I learned that today at work.
Because it got brought up.
Yeah, it did. Well, it got brought up because our first assist, her younger brother apparently goes to school with the girl who owns Justify.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm like 4 connections away from a fucking Triple Crown winner. Woohoo!
Just 4? That's awesome.
Yeah, right? Because me to first assist to her brother to the owner. Haha, 4! Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Alex says, no, they are raising him, not owning him.
I mean, in theory.
In theory. Mm-hmm.
So gun control activists hold a die-in near Mar-a-Lago on the 2-year anniversary of the Pulse nightclub shooting.
Good.
So, yeah, yes. So gun control activists, including survivors of the Parkland school shooting, staged a die-in near President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate on Tuesday. Did they know he wasn't there? Right? He wasn't there. He was busy. About 50 people participated in the protest on the 2-year anniversary of the Pulse nightclub shooting that killed 49 people. Michael Pincus, a local high school student who helped organize the event, told the Palm Beach Post that the protest is a way to hold politicians to their word on gun control. It's a little morbid, Pincus said, but it's a way of holding officials accountable. Is it though?
How? How does that hold anybody accountable?
Dude, I don't know. But apparently these dumbasses laid on the ground for about 12 minutes to represent the statistic that someone dies of gun violence every 12 minutes worldwide. Where did they find this statistic?
And why are they using worldwide? I thought
Right?
Why do you want to use that aspect of it? Why not just stay in the U.S.? Because that's your big thing, the gun violence in the U.S.
Yeah.
You know, but no, you want to use another statistic to help bolster your agenda, whatever it is you're trying to fucking do.
Dude, I don't.
What's it do for you? Fucking nothing.
Ari, LeBron's gonna hold Diane in Cleveland.
Well, you know why I saw this. You want to know why LeBron didn't go to college?
Why?
Because he fails at the finals.
Ah. Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, I saw that one today. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Dude, have you been seeing all these memes from the G7 summit? Hilarious. They're
There's
fucking
one
amazing.
Prime Minister Abe from Japan. You can see him looking at Merkel as she's addressing Trump, right?
Yeah.
And the caption is, last time we followed you, we got nuked.
Right? Last time we listened to you, we got nuked. Oh, shots fired.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
But no, and then I think one of my favorite ones though is a picture of like Trump, Chancellor Merkel, and then Canada's lesbian prime minister. In that, wait, what's her name? Justin Trudeau?
Yeah, Justin Trudeau.
Sure. But it was Trump being like, listen here, German Hillary. Shut up before I smack your Canadian girlfriend.
That's fucking awesome.
I died. I was like, oh my God, yes.
Dead.
Or,
Dead.
no, oh my God. But the one this morning that I saw that, like, I legit just started laughing and it was so stupid. It was Angela Merkel being like 9 and Trump being like 10.
That's pretty good.
I was laughing so hard I started crying. And everyone's like, the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, this is brilliant. Oh, speaking of lesbians, kind of. So it's Pride Month, right? So hooray, I'm part of the B community of that, right? Which stands for bi, which means that there's only 2 genders, right? But anywho, the Twitter and Square CEO Jack Dorsey ignited a backlash online after revealing that he ate at Chick-fil-A during the month of June, also known as Pride Month. So on Saturday, Dorsey posted a photo on Twitter with the caption, "Boost at Chick-fil-A," showing he had saved 10% on a $31 order at the fast food chain. Who the fuck spends $30 at Chick-fil-A?
If you get 4 or 5 meals, it's probably like $30.
I mean,
Maybe
guess.
Yeah.
So a boost is a cashback reward Square users can earn when using a cash card, which is a debit card from the payment platform. Critics immediately seized on Dorsey's support of Chick-fil-A, whose CEO has come under fire for his views on same-sex marriage in the past during Pride Month. You must love the taste of bigotry, one person wrote in response. Another person said, why is Twitter boosting a notoriously anti-gay company during hashtag Pride Month? Among the critics was the former CNN anchor Soledad O'Brien, who said, this is an interesting company to boost during Pride Month at Jack. So he responded with, you're right, completely forgot about their background. Some people supported Dorsey's decision to eat at Chick-fil-A, saying that it's great and that he shouldn't have to apologize for eating a goddamn chicken sandwich. One person tweeted, don't give in to these people and their complaints. I'm gay and I love Chick-fil-A. Ridiculous. Go on and eat that Chick-fil-A and post as much as you want about it. Again, the gays don't care. It doesn't fucking matter. Oh my God, seriously though, Trudeau's eyebrows. I know I just completely reverted back to the last topic. However, if you're going to roll with me tonight, you guys are going to have to get on this crazy train because I don't know where the fuck it's going to go. This is my mind and how it fucking works. But yes, no, Justin needs to fire his eyebrow lady. Like, he needs to get himself a new Vietnamese lady or a new Indian woman to go thread it. Like, I don't know who he goes to for his eyebrows, but they need to be fired. Like,
oh my God. It's funny.
no, like, coming from someone who has, like, naturally thick and, like, bushy eyebrows, it's true. Like, if I leave them to grow long enough, like, they try to connect and, like, become friends again. I'm like, no, gotta separate you bitches. But seriously, they were so bad.
Kaz says they're fake.
I mean, I would hope so, because no one should have eyebrows like that, especially,
He's talking about yours.
the prime minister of a fucking country. Like, your face is all over the place. Like, fix that shit. Yeah. But yeah, who the fuck care? I fucking love Chick-fil-A. I don't care that if they're against same-sex marriage, who the fuck cares? Like, what the fuck ever?
Delicious food is delicious food.
It's fucking awesome. And I always seem to fucking crave it on a Sunday when you can't get it.
This is true. We'll spill
Fucking ridiculous.
Blood.
All right, my eyebrows are not fake. You can fucking lick your finger and try to wipe them off. They're not going anywhere.
Well, that's good.
No,
There's other issues.
No, I have a friend who, like, she literally has, like, maybe 12 eyebrows, like, just hairs. Just 12. I think for her whole face. So she literally every day she's got to draw on her fucking eyebrows. and I'm just like, but what if you get concerned throughout the day? Like, do you have to redraw them, or like surprised? You have to be like, hold on, I gotta be surprised, and like wipe them off and like redraw them and be like, oh my God, how do they work?
Very carefully.
You know, like, what happens if, like, you know, your face itches, or you're tired and you just kind of like go like this, like, and you don't realize that you wiped off one of your eyebrows, and now you're just going around like, hey guys, what's that? It's like, excuse me, madam, like, you know, just...
Jesus.
I'm so... Aw, thanks, Dale. Dale says I'm his favorite.
I remember that, Dale.
I did. I found a gray eyebrow the other day. I was like, oh, what is this? And then I was like, oh, pluck. Gone. I found a gray hair the other day too.
Is that such a bad thing, really?
It's just one, so.
Yeah. Makes doesn't seem to
But fucking so allegedly there was an award show over the weekend, right?
The Tonys or
the
some
Tonys,
shit like that.
which nobody fucking cares about.
Pretty much.
They're the Tonys, and it's for fucking musical theater. Who the fuck cares, except for musical theater nerds, which I get it. I used to be one, and I still didn't fucking give a shit about the Tonys. This is true, Ice. This is true. I do love me those silver foxes. Oh my God. I don't know what it is. Guys with fucking silver hair, I'm just like, oh, yes, please. Like, you can keep coming my way. See, look, I look like fucking Bellatrix Lestrange. Let's fix that. Anyways. I am so sorry, you guys. Like, I understand. I am all fucking over the place tonight. I'm sorry. I'm trying to rein it in. Anyways, I digress. So apparently Robert De Niro won something at the Tonys. I'm not even sure what, and I don't fucking care. Again, I don't give a shit enough. But he went up there and his acceptance speech turned into an I hate President Trump tantrum. And he was like, apparently he said, I'm going to say one thing. He said, raising his fist in the air. Fuck Trump. It's no longer down with Trump. It's fuck Trump. In these perilous times, you rock the vote. Always fighting for truth, transparency, and integrity in government. Boy, do we need that now. Excuse me, Mr. De Niro? Where the fuck were you the last 8 years? I have a question.
Yes.
No, I have a question. Where the fuck was he for the last 8 years, mister? We need to fight for the truth, transparency, and integrity in government. Where was your fucking passion? Huh?
Doesn't matter when you're on the other side.
Oh, that's right. So allegedly the audience went wild because why wouldn't they? Offering a standing ovation. De Niro continued to rant against President Trump the next day, apologizing to Canada for the idiotic behavior of my president. It's a disgrace, and I apologize to Canadian Prime Minister, the lesbian Justin Trudeau, too, and the other people at the G7, De Niro said Monday while in Toronto. So he's gone on tirades against Trump before during a speech at the National Board of Review's annual awards gala in January. He referred to the president as a fucking idiot, a fucking fool, a baby in chief, and a jerk off. Or is it jerk off in chief or a jerk-off in chief?
Jerk-off?
Well, it's jerk-ff and then -in-chief. So is it jerk off in chief or jerk-off in chief? I have questions now for the fucking author of the article.
Wow.
Excuse me.
They're an idiot, apparently.
Well, this morning, President Trump responded to Robert De Niro's very angry speech towards him. So De Niro is a very low IQ individual, has received too many shots to the head by real boxers in movies. I watched him last night and truly believe he may be punch drunk. I guess he doesn't realize the economy is the best it's ever been, with employment being at an all-time high and many companies pouring back into our country. Wake up, Punchy.
That's awesome. Ooh.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, and then, it's fucking ridiculous. Because then we've got Alec Baldwin, who, he throws a tantrum every Saturday on SNL, which I absolutely, I used to love watching it, and now I can't even, they turned me into a basic bitch, and I can't even fucking watch it now. But the Emmy-winning actor Alec Baldwin said Monday he would easily win against President Donald Trump if he'd run in the 2020 election. If I ran, I would win.
Then run, motherfucker.
Baldwin told Howard Stern during a discussion on his Sirius XM radio show about the potential candidates in the next presidential election. I would absolutely win, 1,000%, the actor added, though joking that his wife and being a host of a game show is stopping him from actually launching a bid to become leader of the free world.
No, he's a punk bitch and scared. All these guys that want to talk all this shit. Oh, well, What are they doing to try and change it? Right? They think they know better. Fucking run and make a difference. No, they want to sit and bitch and sit on the sidelines because it's so much easier to fucking play Monday morning quarterback and fucking criticize everything.
Right? Yeah, but he goes on to say, if I ran for president, I would win. Hands down, I would win. It would be the funniest, most exciting, craziest campaign. So this isn't the first time Baldwin joked about his ability to take on Trump or his suitability to be the president. Would I think I'd be a good president? Yeah, I think I'd be a good president. To run for office is something that I want to do. Oh, God. But noted running doesn't seem to be practical with my lifestyle and my children.
Again, fucking cop out.
Before that, he also tweeted a cryptic message saying, if I run for president, think of how entertaining the debates would be.
Well, you won't do it because you're a punk bitch. So quit saying that you'd win, because you have no shot of fucking winning if you're not running. So sit down and shut up and fucking try to come up with some better plan to try and help the U.S. Mm-hmm. All these fucking Hollywood pieces of garbage that think they know better and think they want to fucking, oh, this and that, and I can do better, blah, blah, blah. Step in the ring. Step into the political arena and see if you can handle it. See if you can fucking handle the barbs that get thrown during election season, which at this point is almost every fucking year. See if you can handle it, because it'll humble you and it'll tear you apart and you will cry like a whiny bitch. And then that's what you'll be again, because you didn't win. You'll be a whiny bitch. You'll do the fucking Hillary Clinton. Well, this is why I didn't win. And you won't give it up. But you know what? At least if you run, you'd have some credibility. But until you run, until you climb into that ring to try and play the part to be the leader of the free world, to be a representative of the United States people, shut the fuck up. Because you don't deserve to comment about it. Because you don't know how you would be. You don't know if you'd be better than an individual. But if you climb into the ring and you win, then more power to you. Because then you prove that it can be done. And that's what I think is the great part about Trump winning the presidency. It proves that you do not have to be a politician to fucking win in an election. If you bring to the table what the people want, you're going to win. But if you don't bring it to the table, then you're probably going to lose. And then if you lose, bow out gracefully.
Right? Don't pull a Hillary, you mean?
Don't pull a Hillary.
Oh my God, Great Cloud.
What?
You're old enough to run for president.
Yes, I am.
Do it.
No, I will not. I do not need that kind of garbage.
Do it.
No, it drives me nuts that all these people want to bitch and moan, right? Oh, fucking A. We talk about this almost weekly at this point. People want to bitch and moan, but they don't want to fucking get involved. Again, I say it all the time. Learn how to get involved. Learn how to make a difference. Learn up on your recall election laws. Learn up on what it takes to run for an office. Start small or go big or go home. Trump never held anything in his life, and he ran for president and made it. Right. Kid Rock's running for Senate in Rock City. I mean, make it happen. Do it. Take a chance at it, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, apparently, you're supposed to make me Secretary of Witchery.
I think we might be able to do that. At least you might be an advisor of some kind on some council.
Yeah, nobody wants me to advise shit. I'll be an ambassador, though.
Oh my God, can you imagine doing a broadcast from the White House?
Oh my God. But, ooh. Hell yeah, my department's gonna be called Hogwarts. Fuck yeah. All right, really quick before we go on break.
Yes.
Judge Andrew, I have no idea how to pronounce his name, so I'm going to just call him Neapolitan on, like, the ice cream. On Tuesday, told Fox Business that credit card processor Intuit is within its rights to shut down payments on gun purchases. A number of businesses were recently interrupted without warning after maker of Quicken, QuickBooks, and TurboTax refused to process orders of gun-related sales, according to the New York Post. The paper also reports that Intuit did not return several requests for comment. Neapolitan said, generally, customers cannot be refused due to race, age, gender, or sexual orientation, but can be rejected if they dislike their business. They can choose their customers, their clients, unless that choice is based upon some protected aspects, Neapolitan told Stuart Barney on Barney & Co. Even though some of the sales did not involve firearms, businesses were forced to track down customers who they sold the items to because Intuit credited the money back to their accounts, the Post reported. In Neapolitan's opinion, Intuit made a terrible business decision. They may very well have interfered with their customers' businesses by not telling them ahead of time.
Oh, man. What the fuck?
Right?
What?
But then, yeah, I think of that SpongeBob meme where he's like, acting like the bird, and it's like, we're not coming for your guns. Nah, I like my name for him better, Katie. It's Neapolitan.
Jesus God. It surprises me that there people are still trying to do this, right? I think it was Poogie threw it in there earlier in the chat, maybe. I don't know. I thought I saw somebody in there with it. That gun sale, there have been 5 million gun sales since Hogg and what's her face have been campaigning for anti-gun.
Right? Oh, I still need to find out when they're coming to Texas.
Oh, you haven't checked up on that recently?
Mm-mm.
Oh God!
Right? Exactly,
Fifth Nation
Ari.
tries to get an interview.
But yes, no, I need to find out when those. I can't say that word, because
Emma Gonzalez, that's her name.
the mixer authorities will frown upon it. But I need to go to these protests just so I can ask a simple question. I just want to know two questions, right? Because I'm gonna have Spanky with me as well. We're gonna ask where the cake is because we were told there would be cake. And then 2, what new law would have prevented what happened?
And they'll come up with some bullshit. We need sensible gun laws, blah blah blah. Because they always talk around it. They always double back on sensible gun laws, right? Tell me what that is. Mm-hmm. Tell me what that fucking means, a sensible gun law. Because you can't. Because you don't even know what you're talking about. Sensible gun law this and sensible gun law that. Hold other people accountable. That's great. A lot of those laws exist. A lot of those laws can be applied to situations. Right? Mm-hmm. But bad people are going to do bad things. Period.
True story.
The carnage might not be as bad or whatever, but bad people are going to do bad things.
Yep. But all right, y'all, it's break time. When we come back, we are going to have Joanna Mendoza on, and yeah. So hang tight. Exactly, Joe. Cake. My fat ass needs some cake. But yeah.
Cake.
We'll be back in a few minutes, you guys.
Shots.
In the fire, give to your own desire and lose the life that we made. What hurts the most is how we live to boast about the ones we to you as he tries to hide the truth. As you look face to face, I'm the one. We know the end is here. Don't try to fight it. What you've been waiting for, there's no running away. We paint the mirror to try to hide it. There's no disguising the truth, and there's no running away. Don't try to fight it. You cannot hide it. Maybe one day you will finally see that we are our own enemy. We know the end is here. Don't try to fight it. What you've been waiting for, there's no running away. We paint the mirror to try to hide it. There's no disguising the truth, and there's no running away. No running away.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Cartman!
Welcome back to part 2 of, or 3, 2, I don't know, one of them.
Whatever.
Whatever. We're back. It's Tied Up Tuesday, and we have Joanna Mendoza. Welcome to the show, Joanna.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, of
Be
course.
gentle.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. And I feel so bad because I was not paying attention to, like, my song lineup or, like, my sounds and stuff. And before we came back, it was Cartman being like, Cartman, and, like, being retarded. And I was like, oh, no, she's going to think I'm, like, calling her or all Marines retarded. Like, I really hope.
I'm used to it. I'm used to it.
Makes. It's not like you offered her crayons. I mean, come on.
Yet. Not yet.
It's all good. It's all good.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. We know that you were in the Navy, and then you went crazy and you joined the Marines.
Yeah. So I don't know. Something just kind of snapped, clicked there, and I don't know. I got out for a little bit and kind of bumped around and really didn't. I wasn't doing anything for myself, and so I said, you know what? I'm going to go back in. I'm going to join the Marine Corps this time. And I did that, and I ended up retiring in 2016. But I mean, I had a pretty good career. I was a drill instructor, so I got to experience that, and it was really rewarding. But it was also lots of fun. But I will tell you that yelling at people and acting like a crazy mad woman is not fun. It actually hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts. Yeah, the headaches, and sometimes you feel like you're going to pass out when you're yelling at someone. It's not a good time. So, But yeah, I mean, I retired in 2016. I wrote a book And now I'm pretty much working with veterans, working in the community and trying to help our veterans, our local veterans in Arizona.
Very nice.
Nice.
Great Cloud, I'll let you go.
Oh, okay. So my question is, you did 20 years, you retired, you've seen two different branches. Um, what led you to write your book?
So the book was actually a way for me to try to impart some knowledge to those that, I mean, were coming up. Throughout my years, I've seen so many changes. Like the Navy and the Marine Corps they're similar in ways, obviously, but there's also a lot of differences with the culture. Obviously, Marines are just, we're so, I like to think of it as almost fanatical sometimes about what we do, because we're just like our own fans. We just love ourselves, each other,
Hmm.
the brand, what we do. But I was starting to see that there was a trend in the way in the shift of the mindset, and I call it corporate core. It started to become very corporate to me, very business like, and I didn't like that. We were losing a lot of the values that I felt were important, a lot of the traditions and the culture. And so, like, the book was a way for me to be able to kind of just write down those few things that I could pass on to anyone that would really just read it and listen.
Nice. That's eh, and it's funny you hit on that point where the core was starting to become more business like. Um, but because I'm still associated with DoD, you're starting to see that across the board, not just in
Mhm.
the service components, but in other agencies as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, I'll give you one example. So tattoos. There was a time where, I mean, tattoos, that was like, you got a tattoo, you got your moto tattoo, and a lot of Marines had sleeves. And then I would say probably around like 2010, 11, the shift started happening. And so when I was down in the drill field, they weren't allowing drill instructors to come down for a while that had like full sleeves because it looked unprofessional. And so, they're like, the mentality was, what kind of example are you setting for the young Marines coming in? And so that's just one example of that shift.
Yeah, we dealt with that in the army for a little bit,
Yep. Where we had
whereas
to
you could
photograph
recruit.
everything. It
Mm-hmm.
was such a pain.
Yep, they were frying their pawns. They're looking at cutoff points for tattoos and whatnot, and it became uh, like you were saying, the stigma that you couldn't do certain MOSs. They didn't want you associated with, like you were saying, recruiting. I think there for a
Mm-hmm.
while, and then they had to document your tattoos and all these other things. Um, I'm kind of stuck in your LinkedIn right now. um,
Oh, are you?
yes. So I'm looking at you at LinkedIn, and you're only a second connection away from two individuals I know. I'm just saying.
Really? Maybe
Yeah,
you
so
should
that's
like
really interesting.
request me so we can be LinkedIn on LinkedIn.
I will. Um, my question to you. So I'm looking at some of the things you've done, and your career is amazing. Uh, what's it like working for the office of a congressman from a veteran standpoint?
Um, so, here I am talking about politics and then I work for a congressman, right? So, one of the reasons that I wanted to work for Congressman O'Halloran, who is amazing, he's probably one of the most humble congressmen that I know. And I don't know many though, but still, I mean, just being around him, he's such a humble guy. But I really wanted to give back to the community. So the district that he is responsible for in Arizona is this district that I grew up in. And so it's kind of neat for me to be able to go back into the community and be able to work with the people that I know, the veterans that I know. A lot of people don't know, though, that you can seek assistance from your local congressman on different issues, especially when you're dealing with federal agencies. And so it's key and it's important for our veterans to know that there are resources out there for them. And, their local representative is one of them. But it's been an amazing experience to just kind of what I call be in the trenches, because there's a lot of rural area out here in Arizona, and our district is huge, but there's also a lot of rural areas where we have veterans in areas that, they don't have access to medical care because they live too far out, in the boonies somewhere. So it's been an amazing experience thus far. I just came on board, but it's like it's such a great opportunity to be able to really do some good.
Right. So, what's your take on the new veteran, what was it, $55 billion bill that the president signed to help vets get more access?
So actually, the Congressman O'Halloran, he voted yay for that. He was a big supporter of that. But me personally, from a personal standpoint, I think it's amazing. I think it's a great initiative because there's so much freedom in that. Now, if you speak to some of the older veterans, they'll probably tell you that they hate it, they don't want it. And what I think about that is that, they're used to the VA. They've been going to the VA for like decades now. They know the ins and outs. People don't like change, but from, just hearing from some of the younger veterans, they think it's amazing, it's great. And so it's interesting to see the two different perspectives that they have on the VA. It's either you love the VA or you really hate the VA. Yep. But just the difference in how, like, the older generation really is for it and they love it, and like the newer generation is just kind of like, it's kind of like some choices. I personally think it's great.
Awesome. I think it's good for, and I'm in that generation where I think it's great for our guys, especially ones that don't live close to, like you're saying, in rural areas, or they don't have close access to that VA system. It gives them that choice of being able to go find a doctor who either they've worked with in the past or they have a relationship with already, and it's going to help them get what they need to be better or get that therapy that they need. So I think it's a great thing. That's
absolutely.
Let's see here. What else we got stuck here on your profile here?
What else can you hit me on?
Oh wow. I see our AMU time is very similar and similar background.
Yeah, I love AMU. A lot of people don't know about AMU. AMU is great, and they really cater to the military community, right? I mean, I don't know how your experience was with AMU, but I loved it. It was great.
My experience was really awesome. I had one run-in with, not a run-in, I guess, but I had one instructor who tried telling me I didn't know what I was talking about in my field. And this is the time I had to engage like school leadership on this. Yeah, it was really, really awesome. So of all the, and I'm looking through, your Marine Corps time and whatnot, because it's toward the top. Of all the assignments that you had, right? What's your best memory from all of your assignments?
I mean, hands down, being a drill instructor, it was hard and it was rough. People don't realize that when you're a drill instructor, it literally, like, it sucks the life out of you because you're working 18-hour days, you're sleeping like 3 hours, maybe you're not eating. I think at one point I was down to like literally nothing. I think I had like a 26-inch waist, and that's small for me because I've never been a small girl. But it was amazing to be able to take women that were, that had committed to just wanting to transform and change their lives. And that to me is the most amazing feeling. It just feeds your soul. Because for me, I saw myself in like a version of myself in each one of the women that I trained and made a Marine. And I still connect with a lot of them thanks to social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I mean, it's just, they still reach out to me, because we're so few and far in between. And there's a sisterhood that, there's a bond, even throughout branches of service. I mean, I currently work with another, she's our Wounded Warrior Fellow, but she was in the Air Force. She's an airman, and we have this like sisterhood and connection. So I think hands down, that was like the best time, because there was a lot of funny moments, a lot of really great moments, a lot of, what I say almost killed me moments. But it was just amazing. No, like seriously, because it does. Like, I'll tell you a story. I remember one time, a brand new drill instructor, and it was in the middle of the summer. And I don't know if you guys have ever been down to South Carolina, Parris Island, in the middle of the summer, but it is hot and it is humid.
I have.
And
I was stationed in Georgia, and we did a trip to Myrtle Beach, and like we stopped by Parris Island just because we could. And yeah, it was terrible.
Isn't it brutal?
Yeah.
So here I am, brand new, and you run everywhere when you're a brand new drill instructor. I mean, you just running and screaming. That's all you do, because you're responsible for discipline. That's your whole mission. And I was so thirsty. Huh?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, sorry. I thought there's like an echo. I was so thirsty that one of the recruits had dropped, they were carrying like an ice chest, and they had dropped some ice on the ground. And I was so thirsty that as I was running, I just scooped up like a handful of ice and just shoved it in my mouth, dirt and all. I mean, it's disgusting to think about it, but I was just so thirsty that I couldn't help it. And so I did that. But, it was moments like that I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? This is horrible. But at the same time, it was what was required. And so looking back at that, I kind of laugh at it now, but during that time, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to pass out. I'm going to be a heat case right in front of these recruits,
Mm-hmm.
So those guys, for us, our drill sergeants, and for you guys, the drill instructors, that stint in their careers is just amazing what you guys go through to create the next generation of soldier or Marine.
Yeah.
Right? Because those values and those that discipline you instill in them is a reflection of you. And there were many times as a young soldier and as an NCO and as a warrant, I remember relying on simple things that I was taught in basic by those drill sergeants. And it was amazing that you think back, I did 15 years, and you think back that still I was using some of those simple things that I was taught because they worked. They were tried and true, and they still worked 15 years after the fact. I was still using them.
Right? Just simple, but like so effective.
Yep. So hats off to you for that, for molding those young Marines as they're coming in, and that's, man, yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I really, I don't know how you guys transitioned and how you felt when you got out, but I mean, I tell you, I miss it every day, and it's not because, I don't think it's because of any of the accolades or, being able to just really go. I mean, it's such a merit-based system, but it literally is being able to like impact someone's life like almost daily, and that's what I miss, is having that ability to do that. That's why what I do now is so important to me, because I just get that same feeling. Like I said, it just kind of, it feeds your soul and it keeps you going.
Oh, I got a question from our Facebook Live audience.
Yeah, I was going to ask
with
that.
your time and experience, especially as a drill instructor, what advice would you give to new recruits or people who are considering the military?
If you are considering the military, I call that the calling. that means that there's something inside of you that wants to serve. And if you don't do it, you're always going to regret it. So jump right in, both feet, and just do it. Don't hesitate. Don't question it. That means you've been called, and it's an internal feeling that you get. And you guys know what I'm talking about. You kind of just like, you think about it all the time, and you can't sleep, and it's just, I mean, you literally like live it every day. But if you don't do it, you're going to regret it. You know, I talk to so many people. They're like, yeah, I was going to join the Marine Corps. I was going to join the Army, but I never did. I wish I would have. Just do it. Do it and be humble when you get there. Know that it's only temporary what you're experiencing, and just learn as much as you can.
Yep, I'll agree with that. That pain is temporary, but that chest swell that you get when you're done
It's
is
forever.
forever.
That's right.
Oh God.
So don't cry on me now, Gray Cloud.
And I agree with Dale. I miss it. There are many days I miss it. The thing I miss the most is teaching young soldiers. You know, they're coming to that first unit. They're very impressionable, and you want to make sure they get off on the right foot. You want to make sure that they are going to be set up for that success. And as senior NCOs and officers and warrant officers, that's our job, is to make sure that you set them off on that right foot. And the drill instructors at first piece, and then when they get to that unit, it's up to us. You know, it's up to those NCOs and those officers and those warrants to take care of them and push them in the right path, to ensure that basically we have replacements that'll take care of the Marine Corps and the Army, and the Navy and the Air Force. The Coast Guard just drives boats. So
our little coasties.
But no, that's again, with your experience and whatnot, and now that you're working with Congressman O'Halloran, is that right?
Yeah.
With the VA stuff and whatnot, you are things I preach almost weekly on the show. Get involved, make a change, do something to help the community. Right? Again, we are the largest community in the U.S. There's no community that's larger than ours. There's not. So get involved, make a change, be that difference, and you are the perfect example of that.
No, well, thank you. I really hope that more veterans do that. Be a peer-to-peer mentor. Call a buddy up, even if you don't haven't spoken to them in a while. Reach out to them. You'd be surprised what a difference that'll make to someone. And with social media, you can find anyone. I mean, literally, you can just Google someone and, their name will pop up, or you're linked into someone that is, tied to them in some way. So, yeah, just definitely go out there, continue to make a difference. We have to take care of each other. And we know we can only kind of fill that gap because we miss that camaraderie, that connection. That's why you have so many suicides. They come out and they're lost. There's nobody really, for them to reach out to. Nobody really cares. But another veteran knows what that feels like, knows what that other veteran needs. And so reach out to them, reach that hand out and connect, That's what we need in our community.
I completely agree. Like, we do, we actually talked about suicide on Friday's show. Just because of how in the spotlight it has been here recently with Anthony Bourdain and Kate Spade. And I actually, opened up a bit and let everyone know, about 3-4 weeks ago, I had suicidal thoughts, and like I was reaching out for help, and the way I did it is I picked a fight with Ice, who's our station manager.
Yeah.
I picked a fight with the boss. He was like, the fuck
So he
is
can say,
wrong
"What's
with
wrong
you?
with you? What's going on?"
Yeah, and I was like, ah. But I have a question. Now, your book, Esprit de Corps, Guiding Principles and Spirituality for Modern Marine Teams. What is, like, we kind of get the gist of it just from the title, but give us, I guess, a Cliff Notes synopsis of, like, what your book is about.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So, esprit de corps, we use that term a lot in the military, and we use it a lot in the Marine Corps. It means camaraderie, it means teamwork. And so the term, pretty much the whole book talks about different ways to connect with your team, to connect with those that you serve with those that you might lead. I think even in some ways, some of those principles can be used maybe in, by businesses as well. But it really just talks about making those connections. It talks about, the different chapters kind of outline, getting to know your Marines, who they are, or just your subordinates in general, whomever you work with, get to know them. Where are they from? What's their background? Why did they join? That's really going to give you an idea of who they are and what they're about, and then allow them to get to know you too. Because when people don't know you, they make assumptions about you. So let them know a little something personal about you, and that's really gonna build and start to foster that connection. The spirituality piece in the book talks a lot about different. I felt it was so important because I think people are afraid of the word religion and spirituality. They don't want, they're like, oh my gosh, I don't need to go to church, and it's not about, having a religion or, believing in God. It's about just believing in something. And so the spirituality piece is about believing in each other and how you can help each other and how you can grow together. And so there's little stories in there and little poems and just different things to kind of help open up that conversation about, like, I guess, what everybody's hopes and dreams are and what they want to accomplish. And that helps the connection as well.
Nice. So we do have a question for you from Facebook Live. It is from Josh Crownover. I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He would like to know, what are your opinions on females joining infantry ranks for U.S. military? He says, I'm not being a dick. I'm curious about the opinion from the female perspective, especially if a Marine female.
Well, I can't speak for all female Marines or all females in the military. My take on it, and I've always felt this way, is before we start trying to insert a whole new gender or demographic into, I guess, what infantrymen do, is we really need to look at how we take care of the infantrymen. We need to lighten the load for them. We need to make gear and equipment that is light and that they can carry, so that they're not putting all this undue injury, their body through this undue injury. I mean, I know I have a lot of friends that are grunts, and their bodies are shot. I mean, they have knee problems, back problems. It's not a great lifestyle. It sucks. And then they get out and they're using canes because they can't walk because of all of the humps they did, with 15, 25-pound pack. And then on top of that, you had an assault weapon, and then their flak, and then their Kevlar and everything else. And so we're really doing a disservice to the infantrymen overall. So to answer the question is, I think before we really start to, and they're doing it anyway, so it doesn't really matter what I say, but I mean, my opinion is that we need to look at how to lighten the load for the warrior first, and take care of them in that sense, so that we can make that accessible and an option for everyone. Now, there's girls out there, go ahead. They'll do it. They'll throw that, 100-pound pack on their back, no problem. If you can do it, great. And if that's something you want to do, fantastic. Go for it. But me personally, I just think we need to look at the gear that we're issuing out. I mean, we can put a man in space, we can do all this other stuff with technology. Why can't we find a way to lighten the load for the infantry warrior?
I love
I
that.
hope that answers questions.
Right? I do too, but I loved your answer because I completely agree. Because a majority of these females who, if they want to go and do all this, it's going to wreck their bodies even faster than it will for the men. And we're talking about women going into these, especially if they're going into these prestigious areas like Ranger special, and if they open up special forces for women, that we want to make sure that the standard is the same across the board, but at the same time you want to make sure that people are going to be able to walk when they're done.
Right.
One of our guys on staff, who is actually the youngest person on staff for the radio, his knees are shot, and he's in his early 20s. And they're
And was he a grunt?
Yeah. Freaking.
Or attached to a grunt unit,
Yeah.
or whatever.
But yeah, he needs, and docs are like, oh, we can't replace your knees yet. You're not old enough. It's that's ridiculous. No one should come out of the military that broken.
Right, because you have to think about it long term. And I think that, people get so wrapped around the idea of doing something that no one else has ever done that portion of their ego kind of drives the decision. I was like that when I was younger too. I was all gung ho. You remember the movie G.I. Jane came out? I was like, yeah, I want to be her,
Yeah.
Then we'd go on hikes, and before we would go on hikes, I'd be like, all right, let's watch G.I. Jane so we could get all pumped up, right? And then, so that we could make it through the hike, we'd be motivated and stuff. But looking back, I'm like, no way. I mean, I did a lot of stuff in my time in the military, and it wasn't easy. And my body is it hurts. It hurts every day. I mean, and like I said, I have friends that are grunts, and their bodies are just destroyed. So, for the individual, whether it's a man or a woman who wants to go out and do that, and they want to go out and, they want to be special forces, or they want to do something that is going to be taxing on their body, just think about all of that and how it's going to affect you in the future before you make your decision.
Yeah. So Josh says, and I quote, I'd effing love a lighter load. And if that helps grow the force by bringing in females that can also hang, more power to us all. And I think that that's a very, very good point. Is if, if we do, literally lighten the load that these guys are carrying, that really will open up a lot more opportunities for the females to go in and be like, no, I can do what you can do, because, I don't have to change how I pack things, or I don't have to, lighten my load while you carry my weight literally, and pack more stuff into your bag. We're able to carry the same amount.
Absolutely. Yeah, they should be able to do that. I mean, I know they have the means, they can do the research, and I actually think they might be working on projects to do that.
Well, they are with that exoskeleton, and then the quote-unquote mechanical pack mule that would be able to carry awesome. A whole squad's worth of gear into areas.
Yeah, because have you guys seen, I don't know if you've seen videos on YouTube from just either soldiers or Marines in Fallujah. I saw a video one time of a few Marines that were actually in a firefight in Fallujah, and they were trying to get across this small river. They had so much gear on, they kept tipping over. I mean, they were just not effective.
Yeah.
It's just, I just was shaking my head. I couldn't believe it. I mean, because the flak weighed so much, they had their weapons, then they had packs on their back. It was just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. What's the average gear weight? A flak or IBA or whatever it is now, IOTV. That's 30 some odd pounds when you got all the plates in it. Then you got a full load. What's a full load? Full load's 10 to 15 pounds maybe, depending on what you're carrying. Your weapon alone is 8 pounds. So, and you start adding gear, then you got an assault pack or a rucksack. You're carrying over 100 pounds of extra gear on top of your frame.
Yep, I think they said it was like 115 pounds with like the gear that you carry with your pack. And then, like you said, add all the additional stuff. It just adds up.
Yeah, and that's not including water and or MREs.
Right.
So, I know I'd agree with yours and Mink's sentiments on this. Is that if they can do it and cut it and make it, and then you bring out this a way for gear to be carried a lot easier for all troops, then it's a truly even playing ground at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and then you make the warrior elite, and they're effective. They can move with all this, with whatever gear they do have on, and their precision. I mean, it's going to probably decrease your mortality rate on a combat, in combat, in a firefight, because they're going to be able to effectively maneuver,
Yeah. Like, and I think if they were to focus on almost like making it, it's military. We don't want it to be like too easy, because then, literally anybody could get in. We have to maintain some standards, but I think if we make it, a bit easier on the guys, that in turn is going to make it easier for the females. And, weight will literally be distributed evenly. So, yeah, Great Cloud, your turn.
Oh, sorry.
We kind of got off on a little tangent.
A little bit, but that's what the great part of this interview is someone with her experience. The array of topics we can cover is just phenomenal. And I just lost I had a good question and I lost it.
So I did want to talk about a little bit about, and this is going to focus mostly on women, but I wanted to talk about, I don't know, I know I mentioned it a little bit, but the transition. How was your transition when you got out, Great Cloud? Did you feel that you had a pretty smooth transition when you got out, or did you struggle?
So I had a unique situation. I got caught up in the downsizing, and I was out in 30 days.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I had a very, and the only reason I got 30 days is because I was out CONUS. When I was told, that's it, we'll see you later. So I had a very fast transition. Luckily, I was able to do some research. I built a resume, and I was able to find employment almost immediately, employing my skill sets. I'm still in my field. I'm still in my wheelhouse for my craft. So that didn't bother me so much. What bothered me is I didn't really get that opportunity to fully exploit all the opportunities that are there, or that are supposed to be there, for transitioning service members. When I had to sit down with the deputy commanding general of where I was, I said, it's really not soldier for life at this point. Basically, I'm being kicked out to the curb, and I'm not getting to exercise what I need to exercise to ensure of a successful transition. So I felt that, soldier for life was more lip service to try to make everybody feel better about how they were handling soldiers in the drawdown. If that makes sense. So my transition was not as smooth as it could have been, but because I knew that I was going to have to be set up, and I did have a desirable skill set, marketing myself was a little easier. Now, if you were to go to somebody in a different wheelhouse that had a different skill set, it might be a little bit harder for them to make that transition in such a short time.
Okay, good. So I just kind of want to show the different transition experience. So, Meeks, what about you?
Oh goodness.
It's
Um,
relevant, I promise.
yeah, no, okay, so my transition, I I was kind of hit up with that downsizing as well. I got RCP'd out and they were like, yeah, time for you to go. And I'm like, but wait. But let's see. I was able to go through the Army program, what a ACAP, Army Civilian Aptitude Training Test. I don't know what it's called. Where they try to teach you how to be a civilian again.
Yeah.
And I the Army really fucked up with me though, in that they did not do an exit physical on me at
Oh.
all. Yeah. So I'm
So
not really
how did
sure.
that affect you once you got out? I mean, did you start to have like all these
I mean,
medical issues and
I've got a lot of like psych issues, but I'm not fully sure because, all the briefings kind of ran together and it was literally, months before I went to these briefings, months before I got out. And so by the time I did get out, I had forgotten everything. And I didn't, I've got, like I said, I've got a lot of psych issues and I'm not sure how to go about getting the help that I need, and especially with, I know I'm entitled to some VA disability because
mhm.
of, injuries and whatnot, but I can't tell you how to go about doing that considering they didn't do an exit physical on me. So
And
I don't,
so this brings up a really good point because so both of you experienced transitions that were very rushed and you kind of just got pushed out the door and you know you didn't really get all the resources or the knowledge that you need, or maybe you did and it was kind of fire hosed and then you forgot about it because they give you so much information. I mean, I had like 2 weeks worth of transition assistance training through a program that the Marine Corps had, and then I got out and I was like, okay, now what they say about that? And then they give you like this huge booklet or guidebook, and it's all this stuff that you don't understand. But the transition is a huge issue for all of our military members that are getting out. Whether you did 4 years, you did one enlistment, or whether you did 20, it's still relevant, and it's important that they all get a good transition. They get information that they need, and maybe they need to go more than once. Maybe you go at the beginning of your career, and then you go towards the end when you get ready to get out. But so, for example, like there are a lot of veterans from like the Iraq and the Afghanistan time frame that don't want to go to the VA to put in a VA claim. And a lot of it is because they don't know how to do that or where to go. So my point is that there's veteran service organizations out there, like you have the American Legion, the DAV. You even have some states have actually each state will have like a veteran service organization that has a veterans benefit counselors that can assist you in submitting a claim. They can help you with your paperwork. They can help you get everything together so that you can submit a claim, and there's no shame in it. It'll get you the services that you need. You'll get a rating. They'll evaluate you. They'll have you go through the entire process, and then you can get the services that you need at the VA. Or now with the Mission Act, you'll have the freedom to use the kind of provider that you want.
see, yeah. Ugh.
So I kind of just wanted to throw that out there because I know it's a topic that's really hot right now. There's studies that are being done specifically on transitions between genders, like for women, especially women that are single parents and have kids, because it's leading to homelessness for both men and women.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but that is a big issue. I want to touch on Ari's point there in the Facebook Live here. He asked about what's your advice for difficult transitions, and I think we've already kind of hit on that. Is uh, to get involved with those organizations once you know you're going to transition, even if it's going to be a fast transition. Try and get involved with them from the get-go. And I think that the services need to do a better job of selling those. Uh, I want to say link ups because that sounds terrible, but selling
Resources.
those organizations that can help soldiers and service members that are getting ready to make that transition out. Because if you can link them up either with the local organizations and whatnot, then they can broaden that out on where they plan on going to afterwards. Um, like if you're getting out at Fort Hood, for example, right, and you're going to go back home to I don't know Colorado, um, that organization there near Fort Hood can put you in touch with other organizations where that's close to your home of record or wherever you plan on transitioning to be done. And I think that's kind of a disconnect at the moment between that, in like you said, in that transition piece and helping those service members be set up for that next portion of their life.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if all else fails and you get, you have a rushed out transition like, you did Gray Cloud or you Minx, go to your state page and type in, veteran services, from whatever state you live in, and the state will have a page dedicated to veteran services, and they usually have a list of veteran service organizations that and resources that help service members connect with people on all kinds of different levels to submit a VA claim. They have hotline and crisis numbers. They have employment services, everything that you can think of, education benefits. So if all else fails and you don't get much love from your service as you're getting out, go to the webpage for whatever state you live in and type in veteran services or veterans, and each state should have some type of guidebook that will help you. And if you can't find one for your state, go to the Arizona Veterans Services page, and there's a guidebook there that'll help you. Or you can call me at the congressman's office, and I will help you.
Nation, you heard it here. You can call Joanna Mendoza and she will help you.
My information is available online. So if you look up Congressman O'Halloran, you'll see the office numbers there. So if you need assistance, I can definitely, help you point you in the right direction and get you started and on your way.
That's awesome.
awesome. Freaking, well, it's actually getting close to being break time. So, I don't see any more questions in Facebook Live. Joanna, do you have anything else that you want to impart to us or leave us with?
I just want to thank you guys for what you do, and really, for having your show and then having people on like my crazy self, talking about ways to help others. Keep doing what you guys do. You guys are great at it. Keep fighting the good fight. And, I hope that someday what you do will pass on. It'll be contagious, because it just takes one person to start a movement and then the next person jumps on and on. So just thanks for everything that you guys do and keep fighting the good fight.
Thank you so, so much. That really does. That means a lot to us. We are very, very lucky we had you on. Thank you so much for coming on. And hopefully maybe one of these days you can come on back and we can catch up and you can let us know what is going on.
Absolutely. Hit me up. You know where to find me.
All right, you guys, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Great Cloud and I are going to discuss the meeting between President Trump and Kim Jong-un and all the craziness that happened in Singapore last night. Because I know Great Cloud is chomping at the bit. All right, y'all, we'll be back.
Shots.
Take a look inside your life. Is it so bad? Is this where you draw the line? 'Cause it's so sad. Tell me where you lost your faith. Is it so bad? Couldn't see it in your face. And it's so sad. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down. While you keep it in your head, is it so bad? Never heard a word you say it, and it's so sad. Tell me when you lost your way, 'cause it's so bad. Wanna see you when I pray, and it's so sad. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down. Is it what you want? Is it what you need now? Is it what you breathe? Is it what you're bleeding now? Is it what you feel? Is it what you're feeling now? Is it what you wanted? I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down. Hello, you. Will you come back down to me? Hello, you. Will you come back down? Hello, you. Won't you come back down to me? Hello, you. Everybody,
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Fucking answer your phone, AK. God damn it, answer your phone.
I heard somebody talking about anal sex on the radio, so I figured I'd give my story. Give me a call back. Alright, bye.
Hello. I don't know what you're trying to do with all these British accents. but I'd really like it if you could call me back so I could read something for you. Bullocks. I just burnt my hair with my, rolled marijuana. Stupid strawberries and crumpets. I don't like it. Have a good day.
Hey, baby, you gave me your number in the fucking bar. This is fucking Lewis. How you doing? Don't know why you ran off in such a rush. Yeah. I know you're digging my vibe, baby. Just give me a call back. You know the number.
Go fuck yourself, Bobby.
Hey, just want to talk about your guys' radio show and how awesome it is and the other guys sucked. Anyway, yeah, make America great again.
I don't know how to use this. Oh, velvet ears.
Put the monkey down. Oh, God. Never mind.
Hey, brother, we need to get your show nationwide on this Sirius radio or satellite or something. Kind of hard to watch it when it comes on this damn little cell phone. Let's see what we can do to get you nationwide. Love to see you. Love to hear you. Continue on.
You guys need more fucking lines if they're all busy.
What the fuck?
Get some more. Let me shit in your mouth.
Welcome back, y'all. We are in the third and final hour of Tied Up Tuesday. Holy fuck balls. Red Leg is in the comments section. Haven't seen him in a hot minute. Now I have to actually be on my best behavior because it's the boss.
Yeah, that's not gonna help you be
It
on your best
might.
behavior.
We don't know. But we don't know.
We'll see about that. Yeah, 50-50.
A little column A, a little column B. Love me some holy fuck balls, right? I mean, who doesn't?
Exactly.
Holy shit.
Yes.
No, okay, so speaking of Make America Great Again.
Ugh.
I know you have been all about this for the last couple weeks, saying that it wasn't going to happen, Gray Cloud.
No. I said it would happen.
No, you were over here being like, nah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Well, shit, I said it was going to happen.
Nuh-uh, Philip.
Bullshit. Ask the nation. They know.
I don't remember. I'm in charge.
I called it after he shortly canceled it and then sent that cryptic, maybe blah, 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 blah. No, he was going to this meeting was going to happen. This was going to happen. And all it was Trump playing the game like he does. And everybody fucking doubts him. Right? Oh, no, he's putting it in jeopardy. The regional stability, blah, blah, blah. Fucking bullshit. This meeting was going to happen. It was Trump playing Trump in the art of the deal to make it happen. End of story. So this happened. And it's, it is what it is. But what I find really interesting is the way the two sides are playing this, right? You look at Fox and you look at CNN. CNN says, oh, this is all fucked up, blah, blah, blah. Trump gave nothing but gave all these concessions for some vague statement by North Korea. And then you look at what fucking the Fox is saying, and it's great. They said the North Korean agreed to denuclearize their stuff and give it all up and all this other shit. So what really happened? Who knows? But the interesting part about it is the step down that the president announced, apparently without really consulting anybody, to include, I don't know, the chief of staff, the joint chief of staff for the military.
Gray Cloud.
Yes.
Cloud. He's the president of the United States. Obviously, that means he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
I understand that. And I do understand that he is the POTUS. And I do understand that he's the commander-in-chief. However, there are secondary and tertiary effects here that may have not been fully exploited. to say the least, on the action that he took in that announcement. We are talking huge ramifications for the region for some of these things. Now, I got it. I'm all about bringing, consolidating our troops back home and, eliminating excess where it's needed. However, to make that announcement of, those exercises that have been ongoing for 50 plus years, right, in that region, it's...
Ooh, Josh says Mattis was consulted.
That's great. But I still think he jumped the gun.
Gray Cloud. That's nice. Oh my God. No,
but
I agree. I think if anything, it should be a slow, gradual decline of troops. And not just an all of a sudden one day we're there and holy shit, next day we're not. And the same with the exercises. I think they should be a slow taper off of what we are accustomed to, what we have been doing for the last 60 years. Now that being said, I do think that our presence on the South Korean peninsula, or at least the South Korean part of the peninsula, needs to stay there because there's a lot of shit going on in the South China Sea that if we don't have some sort of presence there, could go unchecked and unregulated and unnoticed, if you will, until it's almost too late.
Yep, and I agree with that because we are not only we're there on the pen for the sake of the peninsula issue, but that's a launching area for anything that happens to include Japan and China and anything else in that area, like you said. So what is our fallback if we pull all those troops out? What's our launching pad? Sure, I don't think it'll be Japan, because they're not going to allow us to build up forces there. I mean, what's the next best fallback? Guam. And it's those secondary and tertiary effects that were not really, I don't think, were considered. And if they were probably easily dismissed by the POTUS. And I hate to say it that way, but I don't think it was fully thought through on this when he made that announcement. Now, he could have made that announcement hoping to elicit more concrete concessions from the DPRK, or the North Koreans. But it's hard to say if they're still going to be at the table in, 30 days. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, we look to try to get the UN involved, the UN inspectors and all that shit involved, to go check out their nuclear weapons and all that other shit. Will there be an exchange of our inspectors going there like it was in during the START treaties with the USSR? So it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out over the next 30 to 60 days, because of the quick implementation that Trump announced after this summit. Now, don't get me wrong, the summit was huge.
It really is. And I think one of the best things that really came about it that no preceding president has been able to do has been the release of our POW and our MRA remains out of North Korea. Bringing those bodies home. And I understand, there's no longer bodies. They're skeletons. I get that, but they're American skeletons. They deserve to come home. After all this time, they deserve to come home. And I think that was such a huge, real, actual win for President Trump, but then also for the American people. And then on top of that, especially Korean War veterans, making sure that all of their brothers come home.
I agree. That'll be huge. And I saw that in one of the articles today about that, is that that gives some of those families hope for closure. That that's going to be a little more open, that we can send those recovery teams in to make it happen, and to get those remains home, families closure, and proper military burials, and repatriate those who have not been home yet.
Yeah.
So the other part is, and somebody hit it. Let's see, where was it here? Dun, 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 dun. Shut up, Kaz.
What? Why are we telling my best stepdad ever to shut up?
Quaternary and quaternary effects, because nobody ever goes that far. Nobody ever looks that far forward. It's only secondary and tertiary. Yeah, so nobody's leaving yet. Josh, to Josh's point, nobody's leaving yet. However, it has been talked about many times that that's one of the things that the North will want, is a serious reduction in the forces that are on the peninsula from the U.S. So will it be hammered out in the final negotiations on how to make this happen, to get the DPRK to actually concede these things? I would hope so, because one, it brings our guys home and it reduces the burden of us filling those brigades and battalions on the peninsula. The question becomes is, what is our next launching pad? Because that's really the strategy we have to look at, is where's the launching pad for the area? Because in theory, Korea was a great launching pad, because we already had troops there on the ground and the infrastructure to support the influx of those troops to push elsewhere in the region if needed. So, because we know it's not going to happen on Okinawa, it's not going to happen on mainland Japan. They just will not concede that, because there's already issues with some of the areas that have large troop concentrations, if that makes sense.
But I don't think we're actually ever going to actually leave South Korea. If anything,
I don't. Okay.
No, but no. Let me finish for a second. Hold on. I think, if anything, they will bring our troops away from the DMZ to at least as like almost like a show of faith. Like, hey, we'll move our guys south, like further south, create this buffer, if you will, and and depending on how you act over the next 2 decades, we'll slowly start to move out and, take over China.
So I will agree with that to a point. I don't see us completely abandoning the peninsula. That's not going to happen. However, what I do see happening is a serious reduction in forces on the peninsula itself. So how we still handle readiness on the peninsula, that is something that will have to be worked out between us, the South Koreans, and probably a new SOFA on, come down to troop levels if these negotiations starts to happen, because it's not going to just be bilateral talks at this point. Okay, it'll be either go back to the old 6-party talks, which include China and Japan, us and South Korea and North Korea, and then it'll be worked out. However, I don't see us off the pin completely, but I see us maintaining that rotation that's currently happening at the 9-month iterations or whatever it is, for maybe a 1 brigade team being there and ready to rock and roll, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you start reduce the natural footprint, and then it all becomes rotation. So you have 1 brigade there that's always ready to rock and roll, and then obviously you have a second airborne who's always ready to go.
So Ray in Facebook Live says they have a 2 million man army in like a 50-mile radius. We can wipe them out with a few daisy clusters. Done. It's why they wanted nukes. Our president just took the mutual destruction away from them.
That's interesting because, yeah, they do have a 2 million man army within 50-mile radius or whatever you want to call it. They do have a large army. Got it. Again, this goes back to that first strike or retaliatory capability when we were talking about going into North Korea, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we would be ready either way, no matter what. Reacquire nukes from black market. Well, what isn't available on the black market at this point? And I'm sure they could be found. But I think if it were to come to that, we would be ready to rock and roll with a plan to counter whatever was coming.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we would be able to do first strike and not retaliatory, because if we're going to retaliatory mode, obviously something bad has already happened. And it again, and that at that point, we've discussed this many times on this show. It doesn't matter at that point. The president will be wrong no matter what. Whether it's first strike or if it's retaliatory, the president will be wrong. We know this. Only because of the sentiments towards the current POTUS.
Now, see, but I agree with a lot of the comments in Facebook Live in that everything that I've read has not said anything about a total troop withdrawal from South Korea.
Right.
So I don't think that's going to happen. I think you're worrying for nothing.
Who, me?
Yes.
No, I agree. Total troop withdrawal is not going to happen. I see them wanting us to concede a troop reduction.
Which would be fine because we did that in Germany.
Right, and we're still there.
Yeah, we're still there, but we had a massive troop reduction.
We did, and that's what I see. That's what I see them getting to. Yeah, Kim Jong-un wants total forces removed from the peninsula. However, we're not going to concede that. Our partners in the partners we have of Korea and South Korea and Japan will not let that happen, because it's too important to the stability of the region, and especially with this being as new as it is and untested at this point because it just happened, basically, we will have to see what happens. I don't see the president actually making that move to remove troops, and it probably wouldn't start happening until at least after the end of his first term.
Right. Well, allegedly, North Korea got California as part of the deal in last night's or today's, I don't know, fucking time zones. Anyways, apparently North Korea got California in the deal. So I guess we can expect some new Asian neighbors here on the mainland, which, you know, if we're being honest, what is a few more Asian people in California? Am I right? They're everywhere. I grew up there. They're fucking everywhere. That's why driving's so bad there.
Yeah.
All the Asian drivers are just terrible.
To the comment, yeah, troop withdrawal to Japan, not going to happen. The Japanese will never agree to that. Maybe a slight increase, but not to the numbers to support what's coming off the peninsula. What the reduction they'd want off the peninsula, to say that. I agreed, cause I didn't say we were going anywhere completely, but a reduction in forces possibly. I could see us. I could see the POTUS considering that and possibly conceding a reduction in forces. Now, how do you get around that? With troop rotation, right?
Right? And, oh, wait, hold on. Ari, we can't sell off Florida first. That's where all the old people go to die.
Yeah, no, that's too important.
Yeah, we cannot. And Disney World.
Yeah. I'd be out property for sure.
You know, and I get it. You know, California has Disneyland and like California Adventure, which are fucking near and dear to me because I'm from there. However, like that state's also a shithole. So I really don't feel bad about giving it to North Korea because that's where all the crazy actors are.
Yep. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
To Redleg's point, and that's where I'm getting at, okay? What if something kicks off and we don't have the ability to move? Okay. We would be in the same boat as we were going to back to the Middle East, right? Look how long it took us to get stuff in place that was needed. 30 days, what was it? Average of 30 days to move equipment on a boat from port to port, and then to download it, and then the PMCS, all that equipment as it's coming off, and how much if it was deadline when it came off the boats and shit like that. So you're looking at a lot of issues that I don't. Again, going back to, I don't think the POTUS actually thought through a lot of them because he was just trying to get concessions from the DPRK and Kim Jong-un. Fast Travis downhill.
No, but I don't like. It just seems like you're so worried that we're gonna have just this sudden, massive withdrawal of troops out of Korea, and it's not going to happen.
No, I am not worried about it being that. It's not going to be that. It won't be this sudden, massive withdrawal. It can't. One, logistically, it can't be. It is logistically impossible to have this sudden mass withdrawal of troops from the peninsula.
No, I understand that, but I don't think that's even an option. I think a slow reduction over a course of decades, possibly. That's possibly an option. But not
I don't think decades, but I think it's going to be, if we concede anything, it'll be years in the planning and then implementation in a few more years.
Yeah, because we have to make
maybe a decade.
We have to make sure that North Korea doesn't get drunk again and decide to nuke anybody.
Well, there's that.
So, what's the issue?
We nuke first. I'm just saying.
Huh?
We nuke them first. Call it a good.
Oh my goodness.
We withdraw from Germany almost instantly. Then Russia got moved more real estate. Well, they didn't just take Crimea because they wanted to. And what do we do? Nothing.
Crimea River.
Oh God.
Yes.
Do not start.
I did though. All right, it's already begun. It's already begun.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, who was it? I think it was Joe on Friday. Pookie and I were talking about this. Like, Crimea. And he was like, Crimea River. Yes! Crimea River.
So to Ray's point in the Facebook live chat, right? Yeah, I got it. We got great tech, and we do have some high-speed weapons and some whiz-bang toys. However, there's something to be said with troops on the ground to move, shoot, and communicate to take an objective. Because we can do all that shock and awe bullshit like we did at the beginning of OIF and all this other stuff. However, having troops on the ground is the difference in us being able to move.
I mean, no one's denying that. No one's denying that, though.
It is new. I got it. It's new territory, and I got it. This is fucking ice. Then go get you some kimchi.
Ice loves kimchi.
Go get kimchi then.
It just sounds disgusting. Fermented cabbage. Fuck. Ew. It's disgusting.
We beat them in the chess game too. Sure, we'll go with the chess game. But again, it's very interesting to see. It's very interesting to see the two sides, debate about this on the news. Right, on one side makes it looks great, the other side makes it look terrible. In fact, I just pulled up the Communist News Network, and it's not even a top story anymore. It's really not. It's not even a top story anymore on Communist News Network.
Well, I mean, why would it be?
Because it didn't fit their agenda.
Well, no, that's just it though. It's so fucking hilarious. Okay, so you know the Facebook page Occupy Democrats?
I've heard of it, yes.
So they posted something today, actually, and it was a picture of Kim Jong-un and President Trump together because, that was only fucking historical. But they said it's captioned with 2 lunatic tyrants with insane haircuts walk into a room. This is not a joke. It's happening right now in Singapore. God help us all. And then someone responded to it with a historic meeting between the U.S. and North Korea that might well lead to lasting peace, liberalization of North Korea, increased quality of life, and reduced suffering for millions. Yet these cunts still found a way to bitch about it. Fuck them all. It's true. The liberals, the left, they're going fucking insane about this and how this is somehow a bad thing that's happening right now. And I don't understand. I don't understand where they're getting this mentality. And if it's just simply because it's President Trump who's doing it.
That's exactly what it is.
Ooh.
I mean, seriously, that's exactly what it is they cannot stand that this is happening. It's just so interesting that they're so angry about this, about Trump still, that they cannot just hope for the best in this situation. It's just insane that they can't just fathom the like you said, the historical nature of this, because this is a huge improvement in relations in the region. Okay, so not only did North and South Korea start talking, they actually met together, both heads of state, and now you have us meeting with the head of state, Kim Jong-un. So what does that say for improving relations in the region and to help stabilize that region? Because let's face it, the destabilizing factor in that region for the longest time has been the DPRK.
Yeah, has been North Korea. It has been. And, with them constantly firing missiles towards Japan, of all places, aim where there's open water. But, if you think about it, not even 6 months ago, the tensions in that area of the world, but also between North Korea and the U.S. were so high. And then out of nowhere, it was like, oh, wait, we're getting along now? Okay. Wait, what? And, then we had that summit with, like you said, with South Korea and North Korea, President Moon and Kim Jong-un. And then now with us, it's absolutely amazing. This transition that's happened literally just within the last 6 months. And everything that's been going on. Tom, I blame Dennis Rodman for this piece. It's preposterous. Oh my God. Speaking of that, did you watch his interview with CNN?
I did not.
You didn't?
I did not.
Did
they destroy him?
I thought it was amazing. Like, I watched it this morning as I was getting ready for work. So Dennis Rodman is giving an interview to CNN in a Make America Great Again hat. No shit, he's fucking rocking that red hat. And he has his, these super dark sunglasses on, but he starts crying in this interview about how, like, he tried doing this with the past administration. And he was pretty much brushed off to the side and, like, ostracized by the American media, the American public, for being fucking insane, which, I mean, let's face it, he's kind of crazy. But, you know, like, he married himself. You know, but he was saying, you know, he's been trying to do this and, like, broker this sort of peace and, like, try to form some sort of connection between the two countries for the last 5 years, if not longer. And, you know, apparently was told via a translator the last time he was up in North Korea that he's the first person from the, like, the, you know, the outside world who has kept his word to not just the North Korean regime, but to the actual country of North Korea, as far as, like, in a positive light. And, like, he broke down crying over, you know, this historical summit that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like, and he was, it got, like, super emotional. He was saying, like, you know, he was almost quarantined for, like, 30 days because he couldn't go home because he and his family were getting death threats. Like, fucking weird shit like that. I was like, God. Like, what information does Dennis Rodman know that could lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton?
Why you gotta put that on an air? Hopefully he doesn't come home now.
Right?
Oh man, it's a good thing. Okay, the meeting needed to happen, and I think it's historical beyond what's able to be fathomed right now. But it just sucks that one side can't see it as that, right? They want to bash it, they want to tear it down instead of it being historical. I mean, immediately, you know, the Dems in the Congress were tearing down the meeting itself, which just tells you how hateful they are towards this president.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Had they been cooperative, had they supported the POTUS and things like this, well, you know what? Maybe he would have given him a seat at the table. But unless you want to cooperate and play by the rules, or, you know, have fair rules to play by, you're not going to get a seat at the table. And the POTUS can do basically what he wants. Like you said, he's the POTUS to up to a certain point. Now, granted, only the Congress has power to make treaties. Okay, that's not what was signed.
Nope. It's almost like an agreement, an accord, if you will.
It was a bilateral agreement.
Mm-hmm. It was not a treaty because, and let's remember, what else was not a treaty? Oh yeah, the Iran deal was not a treaty.
Right.
So anyone who says it was, they're fucking wrong.
It was sung with praise by the fucking Democrats. Oh God.
Speaking of.
But hey, it happened, and that's the important part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew.
Oh,
right.
But I found an article by, what was it, the Washington Post?
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, take it for what it's worth, I guess. I don't know. It's a very anti-Trump article, though.
Of course it is.
Of course, because why the fuck not? So this article says that compared with Trump, previous presidents extracted more concessions from North Korea.
Right.
So, yeah, somehow, like,
Some.
yeah. So apparently, when President Bill Clinton struck a landmark deal with North Korea in 1994, people, the isolated nation agreed to take on a variety of specific steps that included freezing and later dismantling its nuclear program, as well as opening its facilities to international inspectors. Now, the funny thing is, though, is that North Korea never held up their end of the quote-unquote deal with
what? Come on.
with any of these preceding presidents. So, does it really fucking count? I don't think so.
No, it does not.
It doesn't fucking count because they didn't hold up to their end of the deal. Whereas with this go around, they've already started the process of tearing shit down before this meeting even took place. As almost like a sign of good faith, like, look, we're gonna do our fucking part. We're gonna do, we know your terms, we get them. This is us showing you, we understand the terms. This is us showing you, hey, we're actually gonna fucking do it.
Right.
Right? But yeah, and then article goes on to say, when President George W. Bush forged a deal in 2005, North Korea promised to abandon, again, all of its nuclear weapons programs and return to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. Because, again, it worked so well in 1994 that 11 years later, we had to pretty much do the same goddamn thing. With, again, no avail. Weird. But on Tuesday, when President Trump unveiled his agreement, because again, it's not a treaty, it's an agreement, he freaking excoriated, right? Is that a word? I don't know. There's an X in there. Past presidents for failing to make the issue a, quote, priority, and hailed his own document as very, very comprehensive. But scholars, and I want to know what scholars they talk to, say the joint statement signed by Trump and Kim Jong-un reduces North Korea's commitments to just one sentence: a pledge to work towards complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. We're also getting back all of our POW, all of our MOA or MIA skeleton. Like, we're getting a bunch of our guys back. So it's not just that. And they go on to say, this is the most watered down joint statement concerning these two nations ever. But that's what you need to do, though. With two nations whose heads of states are so opposite and are so conflicted and have so much conflict just between the two of them, and especially given our history with North Korea, you have to start off small.
Wow, because you know what? It's funny you say that, because I was just thinking that, these small concessions, baby steps, right? You can't. We got them to the table, okay? The end goal is to get them to the table and keep them at the table, which has not happened in the previous administrations. Like you said, in 94 and 05, yeah, they got them to the table, but then they walked away from the table. But now with this meeting, and prior to the meeting, we had them at the table. We got them back to the table. And now we're going to start seeing what we can get them to concede. And that's where the negotiation comes in. And that's where, it was alluded to earlier in the Facebook Live, is that he's a businessman. Yes, he is playing a longer game than anybody else has been willing to play, the POTUS. So as we look forward to what can possibly happen in the future, we need to think about the long game. Okay. Yeah. So we're conceding XYZ. The POTUS acknowledged North Korea as a world player. as an elevated kind of Kim Jong-un status and gave him an ego boost. Got it. But that'll keep him at the table. That is the goal, to keep them at the table, to help them, to get them to negotiate, to tell them, to get them to denuclearize their country. Okay. We got to keep them at the table. And I think that is the point here.
Like, if anything, all this does is opens up the door for more. And I think that's why past presidents failed every single time.
Yep.
There was the possibility of this happening, is because they threw so much on the table that, you know, the North Korean leader was like, fuck you guys. Because, I mean, let's face it, because Kim Jong-un is in a very precarious predicament, right? Ooh, look at me, big words. But, I mean, you know, it's true, though, because he has to make sure that he saves some face to his own countrymen who view him as a god and who can do no wrong.
Yep.
And he also has to save face with the rest of the international community and being like, oh, hey, I'm not a pushover. But at the same time, he has to come across humble enough to Donald Trump, who, let's face it, if anyone can see through someone's bullshit, it's Donald Trump, right?
Agreed.
Thanks, Tom, for being proud of my big words. So it's a very, very tricky tightrope that he's walking, and that, you know, he wants these sanctions on his country lowered. The only way to do that is by talking to President Trump.
And I agree. And I think from this standpoint now, so now we have this kind of this hold on them, right? So we got them at the table, like you were saying, the sanctions that they want to concede. And I think Trump can see if he's going to play or not. You bring up a good point on that, is that he'll be able to see if the North is willing to play. And if they're not, well, then it's easy to put the sanctions back on the North, right? So you start to concede them one at a time, a little bit here, a little bit there. Things that help the people immediately will probably be the first couple sanctions that get lifted or modified. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, that's why I think this next 30 to 60 days is going to be crucial on where this develops next, because that's going to be the crucial. I really think that's going to be the critical point, is what the North does next in this next 30 to 60 days.
I agree.
Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman.
What about him?
No, again, I didn't agree with him being there, but that's my opinion. However, he was there. He felt there was a good cause. So I will concede him being there because it turned out well. And that's all I'll say about it.
I mean, he wasn't actually there at the meetings.
No, he was there in the area, and
He was in Singapore. You know who else was in Singapore? A shit ton of other fucking people.
Yeah.
You need to, that was it. You're so goddamn upset over the fact that Dennis Rodman was there. You're like beyond butthurt over this.
Okay, so I'm not upset.
Beyond.
I'm not butthurt.
He shouldn't be there, man. He's not a politician.
Yeah, I'm upset that he.
He brought about this. You can't fucking deny that.
I don't know about that.
You can't. He is the only he's the only American. Let me rephrase it. He's the only
North American.
Yeah, though that
big.
too. But he's the only American who is not part of the press, who is not a former politician, who is not a former president, to ever go to North Korea and come back completely fine. And not only that, but make friends with Kim Jong-un.
Well, let's face it, he carried some clout. Okay, he was a ring-winning Chicago Bull. So, real quick, Josh, what do you mean? What's my basis for what? It's not midterms. Because it is the midterm elections, if that's what you're talking about. Yes, he is a former drag queen and drug user, so he's got a lot of accolades. But the one that gives him clout for Kim Jong-un apparently is that he is a former championship basketball player. Some people, that's all they see and that's all they want to acknowledge. But
Holy shit. Okay, so really quick, before we get into housekeeping, which Grey Cloud, I would like you to do housekeeping when I'm done with this article.
Okay.
So this just came through. So you know how California, right? Speaking of California, you know how a few months ago we were talking about how California was talking about splitting into 3 states?
Yes.
It's on the ballot. It got enough signatures on the petition to get onto the ballot in November.
Oh, wow, really?
Yes. So California's 168-year run as a single entity, hugging the continent's edge for hundreds of miles and sprawling east across mountains and desert, could come to an end next year. As a controversial plan to split the Golden State into 3 new jurisdictions qualified Tuesday for the November 6th ballot. If a majority of voters who cast ballots agree, a long and contentious process would begin for 3 separate states to take the place of California, with one primarily centered around Los Angeles and the other 2 divvying up the counties to the north and south. Completion of the radical plan, far from certain, given its many hurdles in judicial, state, and federal levels, would make history. Dude.
That's interesting. What do you think? Because you're from California.
I am from California. Born and raised California. And I think it would be, honestly, I think it would be completely beneficial. Because it's literally a handful of counties that are deciding how that state is run.
Yep.
Now remember, there's a lot. There were a lot of counties in California that voted red in the last presidential election. But because the few where the majority of the population exists voted blue, the whole state turned blue. That's 55 electoral votes. Now, how they would go about splitting those votes up is a different story, because would you just split up those 55, or would you have to reevaluate and redistribute all of them? And like, not even, there would no longer be 55, like those 55 electoral votes would be gone, and in its place, Southern California would get 20, Northern California would get 30, and then New California or Central California or fucking however they go about naming it would get 15 to 20. So in which case that would be more electoral votes than what the state has as a single state. You know, did I make sense there?
It does make sense because you would so there'd be an additional 4 senators added to the Senate.
Yep.
Right, because every state gets 2 senators. And then you would have to basically, I don't see there being a change in the amount of representatives because the populations would not change. Right, all you're doing is those population centers would still be represented by by those representatives. The only issue that you would have is where you draw those boundary lines, right? Because let's face it, one district can cover several counties. So if the counties were to get split in half, then you have to redesign those counties, and then you have to redo the congressional districts, known as gerrymandering, when you redraw the district lines. So the only change I think is the addition of the 4 senators, because I don't think there would be a change in the number of representatives in the House, because that population isn't going to change, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's still based on population. It's still based on it's population density, I guess would be the other way to word it, but it's based on population for House of Representatives. So I don't see that changing. All I see changing is the additional of 4 senators, which is an additional 4 electoral votes that are up for grabs.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
No, it does. So it's just a matter of how they distribute them.
Yeah, and that's what it would come down to is where would those boundary lines be, because those district lines probably won't change much if they do it correctly.
Yeah, it just, I mean, if you think they really do, they have to think about how they would cordon off areas of the state.
Yep.
Because,
well, easily you build a wall between California and the rest of the United States.
Oh my God.
Oh, whoops. Sorry. We're talking about them being just new states, not a new country. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, it's time for housekeeping.
Housekeeping. Woohoo!
Your butt.
Wow. Good show. Nation, as you know, we have a show almost every night of the week, starting with us tonight on Tie Up Tuesday with myself and my lovely co-host Minx.
Hello.
And then Wednesdays is our Donza. Spanky. It's a Donza.
She's not here. She's off.
We're usually playing games, and we're broadcasting the gaming channel usually with KJ playing whatever game he's playing lately. And then Thursdays, Sergeant Times with Ice and guys from the main page, and they're usually covering, they are covering all things active duty and what's currently affecting the active duty force. And then it's Friday with Friday Night Freedom, and that's with Minx and Pookie, and they're covering current events. Usually Minx has got something crazy going on, and then Pookie's running off and some technical jargon like backup lamps or something for his car.
Wait, what? Oh, you're talking about Pookie, not me.
Talking about Pookie. Mm-hmm. And then Saturday is Saturday Night Savagery with Jay Reddy and Pookie. And again, all I can say is that show gets interesting, and you just got to tune in to experience it. You really do. And then Sunday is Kicking It with Cause and Owl. And that's always current events and things that might have got missed over the weekend. And that show is always great. And then it's Monday, the Monday edition with Ice and Flash. Again, current events, things that are affecting the active duty and the veteran community. And then it's right back to us on Tuesdays, because we are the best, so we're on Tuesdays.
It is Taco Tuesday. Whether or not they're fish tacos, though, gentlemen, that all depends on you.
Tacos. Right, and we do have some upcoming guest station.
Oh, wait, hold on really quick.
Yes.
Kicking It with Cause and Owl, that Kaz, best stepdad ever, is in the middle of moving. And so they won't be back until next month. Because, yeah, Kaz finals on a house, and then he's got to, do all that shit. So they'll be back in July.
Gotcha. So you heard it here, Nation. He'll be back in July. But we do have some upcoming guests.
We do. A bunch of them.
We do. On Thursday, June 14th, we have Bryce Dubee, PAO of the Texas Veterans Commission. Bryce will be on to talk about how the state of Texas just recently passed new legislation declaring June 12th as Women's Veterans Day. There are over 18,000 women veterans in the state of Texas. Many of them do not self-identify as veterans, and a lot of civilians don't recognize them as veterans as well. The new legislation was passed to recognize the women who served in the armed forces and to educate the general public about their service to our nation. That'll be a really good interview. Then you have a guest on Friday.
Oh, yeah, I do, huh?
Jennifer Paquette from the Green Beret Foundation and Thomas Merrill from Special Forces Brothers. Jen and Tom will be on to talk about the upcoming auction, Don Shipman's Memorial SF Brothers auction benefiting the Green Beret Foundation. The Special Forces Brothers hold an annual auction on June 19th of every year, benefiting the Green Beret Foundation. The Green Beret Foundation serves as the Army Special Forces, our nation's most elite soldiers, by connecting them with resources they need to succeed in the mission ahead. Special Forces Brothers was established in 2010 and is a way for vetted SF brothers to stay in touch and exchange stories and history about their days in Special Forces. That'll be a really good interview.
Hell, I mean, they're Green Berets, so I'm going to have fun with that. Mm-hmm.
And then Monday, June 18th, is author-journalist Kelly Kennedy is the best-selling author of They Fought for Each Other, The Triumph and Tragedy of the Hardest Hit Unit in Iraq, and the co-author of Kate Geronimo's Fight Like a Girl, The Truth Behind How Female Marines Are Trained. Wow, that would be a really good interview. And yeah, that's probably going to be a deep topic for ICE. And then Tuesday, we have one too. Rob O'Neill. Rob O'Neill from the Facebook page Bay Pines Exposed, who's a retired employee from the Bay Pines, Virginia, will be on to talk about the mistreatment of veterans in the Bay Pines VA. The Bay Pines VA has been in the local national news several times for their neglect and mistreatment of veterans. That's going to be a rough interview, I think. It'll be good, informative, but it's going to be deep. So, Nation, that's our lineup, and those are our upcoming guests. Winks, back to you.
No, that's our show, y'all. That is our show. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. Everyone over in Facebook Live, Mixer, YouTube, Twitter. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. And yeah, we will see you on tomorrow. Is tomorrow the gaming? What's the right word?
Is that the throwdown?
Is it the throwdown?
Is that what's been building up the throwdown?
I think so. I think, all right, so our gaming page peeps are doing a bit of friendly competition, if you will. They're playing Rainbow Six Siege, and they're trying to see which team is better. Mm-hmm. So be on the lookout for that. But definitely come back Thursday for Sergeant's Time. And, yeah, with that, we are out of here. Bye, you guys. Have a great night.
Night, Nation.
Yourself that everything's gonna business.